Hey, welcome back, Phenomenons. This is Frank. So listen, in this video, I want to highlight this really cool feature inside Suno called Get Stems. Now, if you've ever generated music, right, you weren't maybe as happy with the vocals as you were maybe with the instrumentals or vice versa. Well, that's where Get Stems comes into play. Now, what is Get Stems? So imagine an audio file, right? A music file that you generate inside the Suno, and it has vocals, it has backup vocals, and it has like maybe 5 or 6 different instruments. Well, imagine just pressing a button and kind of separating each one of those stems individually into its own audio file. So you have the backup vocals in a file, the vocals in a file, percussion in a file, right? Violins in a file, in its own separate file. Well, imagine what that could do. That's going to give you more control over the music you generate, whether you're kind of just editing inside Suno and or if you're just downloading those actual audio files and re-uploading them into an audio editor that allows multi-track, right? Imagine the world's your oyster. You could do so much with it. So what I want to do is I want to just hop right into Suno. Okay, now here's the audio file that I'm going to have you listen to real quick. And then I'm going to kind of just showcase how to get the stems. Now, the first thing I highly recommend whenever you're dealing with stems, remember, I'm talking about creating multiple files within one song. Okay, so extracting like percussion and all of that jazz right in each individual file. Well, once it starts showing up down here separately, well, they can get pretty chaotic. So what I highly recommend that anytime you're going to utilize Get Stems, go up here and create a workspace folder. Right? If you don't know how to do that, just click on this left arrow right here. Then go right here to New Workspace. Title it what you want to title it, right? And it's going to show up just like this. You're going to have a file folder just like this. Okay, you have your actual music editor right here, and then everything is going to show up right in here. Now, let me have you listen to the actual audio file that I have already gone in here and created. Here we go.
I saw the whispers floating in your side, we smoke. You was in the crew, now you tryna do dirt. Throwing shade in the dark like I wouldn't catch the flicker, but my silence been stacking like a loaded clicker. You forgot where I'm from. We don't chase smoke, we become the lungs. Bite your tongue, now I've been mine too long. Now the truth cut deep like a violent song.
All right, so this gives you a good idea, right, of what you can start with here. Now, just by listening to that, imagine taking, let's see, it says 2 minutes and 40 seconds, right? Taking a 2 minute and 40 second song and then turning it into like a 7 minute kind of a wedding reception song, okay? DJ mix style, anything that you want to do, add the effects, all of that stuff, control the different volume of the different instruments, all that, okay? Now, to get the stems, all you got to do is just click on these 3 dots right here, okay? Go up to Get Stems. It's the third one down as of right now when we're recording this video, right? And when you do, this window is going to pop open. What it's going to do, it's going to give you 2 different options. Now remember, Suno does things in 2s. Okay, so the 2 different options is one's going to be 50 credits and then the other one's going to be 10 credits. The 10 credit one is quite simple. What it does is it creates 2 different tracks separately and it separates the vocals from the instrumentals. Okay, whereas opposed to this one here is more of what I was highlighting at the beginning of the video here, right? All detected stems. So it takes up to 12 different stems. It's going to do its best to kind of extract and kind of separate each individual one into their own individual file, allowing you to have just more control. All right, so just to kind of showcase the process, let's do both, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to extract this one here, okay? And as you can see, remember, as I said, you have version 1 and then you have version 2, okay? Now, why you would maybe kind of want to mess around with this here, and I'm going to show you it's going to work better, right, when we have multiple instruments and so on and so forth, is you can press play, and as you press play, right, it's going to go through, and then you could just kind of select S for solo or M to mute this particular each individual audio file. And by doing that, you can get an idea of saying, hey, you know what? If I just remove maybe percussion or added this or remove this or so on and so forth, it's going to give you just kind of some ideas, brainstorming ideas on how to expand and just maybe create a remix and so on and so forth. So here we have the 2 different audio tracks within this first version, separated by lead vocals and again by instrumentals. Here's the actual solo and then the actual mute button. So if I just select play,
I I saw the whispers floating in your sideways smirk. You was in the crew, now you tryna do dirt. Throwing shade in the dark like I wouldn't catch the flicker, but my silence been stacking like a loaded clicker. You forgot where I'm from. We don't chase smoke, we become the lungs. Bite your tongue, now I bit mine too long. Now the truth cut deep like a violent song.
So there you go. You get kind of an idea, right? It starts kind of just generating ideas for you, right? What you can actually do when you download these files. So let's just say I wanted to do something with those vocals, right? You can download that separately. All you got to do is just pick the type of file you want to download it in. So you could do a WAV file or an MP3 file. The WAV file, if you're using a different outside third-party audio track, an audio editor, right? It's highly recommended you download it, of course, a WAV file. It's going to be of higher quality. The file is going to be larger, right? You're going to get just more authenticity, right, of the original. So the next thing you could do is, of course, do your instrumentals, or you can go right up here and download them both. Or in the other case that I'm going to show you, the second version is going to be downloading them all, right? So just make sure that you select the proper file before you select download all, and then it's going to create a zip file for you and put it on your hard drive. And then from there, you can extract it, open it up, upload it into your third-party audio editor, and then the world's your oyster, right? You could do so much with that. Now, again, remember, it's two different versions. So you have your version 1 and then your version 2, all in this example. Oop, I totally exited out of there. What I meant to do was just hit the arrow back button, right? So this is it. This is what I just showed you right here. Now, I do want to exit out of here before we kind of get messy. Now, remember I talked to you about like the workspace and why it's important. Now, those, for example, if I were to say, hey, add up the different extracted files there, that's a total of 4, right? The 2 for the first version and then the 2 files for the second version. So you'll see them show up right here. In order to do that, all you got to do is go right up here to filters, click on that, and then right here, uncheck hide stems. And so now you have your files showing up right in here. You have your original one down here, okay? Version 1 is normally at the bottom, and then the second version is going to be up at the top. As you can see, we didn't listen to those, which is why it has the little dot right next to it. Okay, so here what you could do, a good example, I've got a video right up here where I kind of showcase how you can actually take a simple vocal, right, and add instrumentals to it, or vice versa. And that's a new feature inside 4.5 Plus that you can do inside Suno. So let's say, for example, this one right here, we just had an instrumental, right? These are all separated. So if I click on the 3 dots here, right, what you could do is go right up here to remix and edit, and then go right down here, and you're going to notice there's an option to add vocals, okay? Now, that's not going to show up if you're actually trying to look for it and you have a song that has both vocals and instrumentals, okay? Same thing goes for this one right here. This one is the vocals. So if I click on the 3 dots and I go right up here to remix and edit, and I go right down here, you're going to see, well, add instrumentals. And then it's going to go through the whole process, just as I kind of mentioned in the actual video that I talked about up at the very top. So go watch that video, but finish watching this one here first, okay? So this is just kind of a good idea too. And also just to better manage the files in here, what I'm going to do is, let me just show you. So this is here, this one right here is the original file, right? Because we have vocals, instrumentals, right? What I'm going to do is, let's say, for example, before, as I mentioned, this gets pretty crazy, right? Having all of these get stems. So I'm going to go do the second get stems, and it's just going to be really crazy in here. So if you ever want to delete multiple files, okay, what you could do is just hold down Shift, right? Let's click on the very first one here, hold down left Shift, right? And then just kind of arrow down to where you want to delete to, or do the multi function, right? And just click on these 3 dots, but you want to make sure this one's not clicked on, right? So if we click on these 3 dots and then go to move to trash, it's going to do exactly that. Move it to trash or move it to workspace, and there you go. You clean up your actual workspace, and now we're ready for all of those larger quantities of get stems, okay? So we're going to go right back up here. We're going to go right here to get stems, okay? And now we're going to check out this function right here. So we're going to extract 50 credits. We're going to extract, and it's going to cost us 50 credits. And then you're going to see it kind of work the same exact way, just a multi-track. Okay. Now here's something to think about too. There's going to be occasions where you'll have your vocals, right, have instruments being played inside your vocals. Okay. If that ever does happen, what you could do is you can still exit out of here, go find that file, click on the three dots, or you can just in the middle, just right here. So you can go right here. Let's say this was the actual vocal with the actual instrumental still playing inside the vocal, which it shouldn't have done, but sometimes it'll still do it, right? What you could just simply do is just click here, go to Remix Edit, open editor, or just click right here and open editor. And then go in there and just use, watch one of these videos that kind of breaks it down too on how to just remove that instrumental, okay? Doing the best you can by either regenerating or just doing a simple delete, okay? So those are some options there. So now what I want to do is I want to go right back up here. Oops, go into Get Stems. Now, anytime, this is another reason why you want to have a workspace folder, okay? Because if you ever want to go back into a song that you did get stems on, right, that you've extracted individual files, you'll have to know where it is. You'll have to know which audio file it is. So no matter what, no matter when, I can always come right back in here, go to Get Stems, and then right here, it'll show you a history of extracted actual stems if we indeed did that. So we've done it to both of them. Now, I didn't show you this one, so we're going to hop right back into here. And as you can see, you have lead vocals, you have your backing vocals, your drums, your bass, your strings, and then your synth. Okay, same thing. If we hit play,
I saw the whispers floating. But my silence been stacking like a loaded clicker. You forgot where I'm from. We don't chase smoke, we become the lungs. Bite your tongue, nah, I bit mine too long. Now the truth cut.
this is kind of quiet here. Then we have the bass. So there you go. Again, you could just simply go in and download them individually, or again, download them all. Just make sure that you select the actual file type, okay? And that's pretty much it. So when you go right down here, and remember we had it unchecked. If we have it unchecked still, right up here in filters, you wait a little bit, it'll populate, and then it'll just all of a sudden just kind of do a dump right into here, and you'll have all of the other files. You may also need to hit refresh, but I find too, if I go into filters and I click on hide stems and then unhide, they'll show up. Okay, so these are all of the different stems. Now, all of the ones that aren't showing, right, that we've listened to is the second version. So just note. And here you can go in and again, just manipulate each one of these files. One thing that Suno doesn't have is kind of that multi-track where you can really control and better edit the actual music. And so I've just gotten used to it anyway, even though when Suno does have it, I'm probably just used to using the third-party audio editor anyway, right? And again, just note that this is giving you more control over the music that you generate. And that's it. That pretty much sums up how to get stems. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please leave a comment, like this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon. So anytime I'm finagling my way around Suno, you're the first to know about it. I'm Frank with the Phenomenon. Hey, I'll see you in the next one.